And Keith Gavin are the return men. James had a touchdown called back last week, but they keep it away from him. And here's Gavin for FSU. And he's past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Not coached in this venue since he was the offensive coordinator back in 2000. James Blackman was a year old then. And they run the ball on first down. Past the 35-yard line. Jacquez Patrick still going. Patrick all the way near the Miami 4.
Right to the Hurricanes to start this game.
Patrick, a junior from Orlando. At 100 yards last week. Here's a swing pass to Nyquan Murray. Able to stay in bounds. And pushed out after a gain of about 3 on the...
Many peaks and valleys. Just be more consistent throughout the ball game.
Again, you saw only 121 yards last week, but had the play of the game. Jimbo Fisher told us he's picking things up quickly, though, for a true freshman. On 2nd and 7, Blackman pumps, throws into traffic. It's knocked away, incomplete.
This is going to be the first time we've seen a major contender at the quarterback position at a Power 5 school out of Glade Central. Bright future for this young man.
See how he does here, Tom, in 3rd down and 7. At the 37-yard line of Miami. Blackman forced out of the pocket. An excellent job by Miami downfield covering, and then
I'd punt and play field position at this point. Certainly don't want to give Miami opportunistic field position, so I'd punt, allow my great defense to take the field against an inexperienced quarterback in Miami, backed up. Hopefully, if in fact this punt lands in a good spot for the Noles.
Well, the problem here is Florida State too much time. They're going to have to burn a timeout, or they just take the penalty.
Delay a game.
Yeah.
Give them 5 more yards to work with.
Field to punt into. All he's got to do is ensure that Miami stays backed up.
Braxton Berrios is the deep man. Berrios lets it go over his head. It checks up at about the 4-yard line. Great job by Logan Tyler, the sophomore. Miami quarterback Malik Rozier from Mobile, Alabama. He's 4-0 as a starter. Takes over for Brad Kaya. Now, 2 of those wins were against Duke, and one was in that crazy 8 lateral game 2 years ago. But last week against Duke, he was outstanding. He did have a pick, but had touchdown passes, almost 300 yards through the air, and he also ran for a score.
It's his athleticism that really adds a new dimension to Mark Richt's offense.
He's got a great security blanket standing next to him, too. And Mark Walton, one of the top running backs in college football. But is Walton healthy? He's been battling an ankle injury all season. We'll find out here. Walton to the 10-yard line. Gives him a little bit of room. Gain of close to 7 on the play. Rozier's mom, Dana Hudson, is here, along with stepfather Ron Hudson. Making the 6-hour trek from Miami. Got sunny skies here. Never expected that. They almost moved this game again because of another hurricane. As Rozier's pass is deflected and incomplete. He was trying to set up the screen, and boy, he almost threw a pick 6.
Outstanding job by Josh Sweat, number 9. You'll see he's looping around. He sees that Rozier is going to drop into a screen type of drop. Rozier decides to throw a missile, a fastball, instead of trying to float it over the top. Good play by the defender.
Needed a changeup.
Or a knuckleball, anything over the top.
And Josh Sweat, 6'6", hard to get it over that outstretched arm. 3rd and 3. And Walton is swallowed by DeMarcus Christmas. 4th down. It all started with that great punt, hitting the Hurricanes deep, and now they got to kick it out of their own end. And Tavares McFadden, very dangerous with a football in his hands. And a true freshman punter in Zach Fiegels. You wonder what his nerves are like right now, kicking in this rivalry for the first time. And he almost got that blocked. Terrific punt. Goes out of bounds around the 43. It's a 48-yard boot for Feagles.
Rivalries are all about passion and emotion. You see the big fella, Christmas, come early.
Rivalry matchup brought to you by Wendy's. 62nd meeting, and Miami leads by 1 win. Florida State has won the last 7 going back to 2009. The last 3 games decided by a total of 10 points, including a 1-point win for FSU last year on a blocked extra point. Seminoles start this drive from their 44-yard line. A swing pass to Keith Gavin, and it's a 6-yard gain to midfield.
James Blackman has had some great moments, but he's also had some frustrating times. Here he is last week. This is a simple screen pass to the right-hand side. This is a JV, junior varsity throw. And this throw right here, the exact next play. The next play, this is an NFL throw. Between 2 defenders, cover 2, he fits it in there somehow. This kid's got big-time arms. Just got to get more consistent.
Patrick trying to find a hole, and it's not there. Wrapped up by Demetrius Jackson for a loss.
Well, fellas, this offense requires a quarterback to do a lot, and I think there's 3 things you got to pay attention to today. Number 1, down and distance and area of the field. James Blackman has to know where he's at, what his line to gain is, and then he's got to be able to communicate the plays coming in from the sideline, personnel groupings, formation, shifts, motions, and then after all that's done, watch him identify and then again get his team set up. Watch the communication between him and his football team prior to each and every snap. You're seeing it right now.
On 3rd and 5, Blackman in trouble. Gets hit a couple of times and finally goes down a sack back at the 42-yard line. Kendrick Norton was there for the Canes. Among the top teams defensively in every category, in particular tackles for loss, number 2.
Pressure off the right-hand side. McLeod coming in, he gets picked up, which frees up Shaq Quarterman, the sophomore star at middle linebacker, to add to the pressure. Blackman just has no chance to get rid of the football. It results in a big sack for the Canes defense.
Tyler Barrios lets this one go, and it does not check up this time. It goes into the end zone for a touchback. 57-yard punt, but only a 37-yard net as Kendrick Norton using Blackman's leg to play the guitar. What's up with that?
Football is presented by PlayStation Vue. Watch the biggest moments in sports. Try it free today.
Hurricane Irma wreaked so much havoc on the South. It seemed like a football game was so trivial. The game originally was set for September 16th, but because of the hurricane, they rescheduled the game. So both teams were off for about 3 weeks. It was like starting training camp again. And they actually thought about moving this game again because of another hurricane, Hurricane Nate. But we actually have sunny skies. There was a little bit of rain in the forecast, perhaps for towards the end of the game, but that hurricane is moving west. They were thinking about moving this game either to Friday night or to noon. Here's a pass play. Rozier completing it near the 30-yard line to the tight end Chris Herndon. Well, last year Mark Richt had a homecoming to Miami, going back, taking the head coaching job where he played quarterback. Look at all the guys that he was around back at the U. But he was at Florida State for 15 years, including winning a couple of national championships as Miami runs the ball, does not get the first down. It'll be 3rd and short. But Rick's last time in this stadium was 2000, the year after Bobby Bowden won his 2nd national championship.
And what a job he's done with Miami. His approval rating right now hovering around 95%.
They try the quarterback sneak here. Rozier on 3rd down, and a timeout was called, it appears, prior to the snap. Timeout by Mark Richt.
Prior to the ball being snapped. Timeout. Miami.
Dwayne Haight is our referee. 3rd and 1 when we come back.
Chicken sandwich, ice
The fourth ever night game at Ann Arbor, and it's a rivalry game. Michigan State, 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Midway through the start of the first quarter. This rivalry contest, 62nd meeting, 3rd and 1 Miami.
You see who's in the game. Big number 65 at fullback, Corey Gaynor.
Rozier rolling out, throws high and over the head of Herndon. Some pressure by Brian Burns, and Rozier couldn't complete what seemed like an easy pickup for a first down.
Got to make that throw if you're Malik Rozier. It's a great play call by Mark Richt. A little boot action. You have the backup offensive lineman in at fullback. You have Florida State thinking run. You just can't connect on the pass.
Fiegel's first punt, almost 50 yards out of his own end zone. He's back near his 15-yard line here on 4th and 1. And this is not a good kick. McFadden letting it bounce, but it takes several hops inside the Florida State 20-yard line. A 53-yard punt. So James Blackman back out there at quarterback. He's in for Deondre Francois. Here is where he got injured against Alabama week 1. Season-ending knee injury. And Francois, the ACC Rookie of the Year in 2016. He was going to make a play for Player of the Year in the conference in 2017.
You expected huge growth from him this year. Just so unfortunate to see his season cut short there in the opener against Alabama. But you know he's hungry. He's prepping and rehabbing, and when he gets healthy again, it's going to be very fun to watch.
So you got the true freshman in there instead at quarterback at 6'5", 169 pounds. That's what he's listed at, and he completes it here to Patrick to the 25, picking up 6 yards. Now they've had 3 good first down plays so far offensively, but they just haven't been able to complete those drives, finish them off with points.
And they haven't really taken any shots down the field, trying to work James Blackman into this game plan. Get him some confidence early before you start to stretch his arm. One of these days, though, they're going to take a shot downfield.
Miami daring him to do that, stack in the box with 8 guys. They try to run into that 8-man front. Patrick with a great reversal, and he's got room. Gets a block from his quarterback. And into Miami territory. He ripped off a 30-yard run on the first drive. That one goes for 30 again. 39 officially.
This is all because number 22 right there, Sheldrick Redwine. He loses contain. Nothing there inside, and he loses track of Patrick as he got around the edge on the left-hand side. You got to be smart when going against these heavy sets that Florida State will throw at you.
29. Check that officially on the run. First down at the 45-yard line. And this time it is the true freshman Cam Akers, and he is tackled for a loss of 5 on the play. Malik Young in run support from his cornerback spot.
Little corner cat off the edge there, huh, Greg?
Yeah, they'll bring it. They'll bring it now. Manny Diaz defensively, the defensive coordinator for Miami. He preaches chaos, 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 and disruption. He'll bring pressures from all over the place. Safeties, corners, linebackers. On any down and distance, anything's possible. You've got to keep your head on the swivel as a quarterback.
He's another former Seminole. He was a coach here at Florida State. He's a GA. Blackman throws incomplete. Trying to hit Gavin. So it'll be 3rd down and 15.
You see Jimbo Fisher on the sideline gesturing to James Blackman about ball placement. That ball was coming out of his hand 100 miles an hour, and it goes back to what you touched on the last drive, Greg. You got to have some nuance to your throws. Can't be JV one snap and varsity the next.
He'll learn. Every snap is a new opportunity. This young man's going to be fun to watch as he grows over the years.
3rd and 15. See how the freshman does here. Looking downfield, and it's tipped at the line, but a flag comes in late as Blackman got hit. Michael Jackson.
Personal foul.
Rough the quarterback.
Roughing the passer. Defense. Number 28. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's a huge play, obviously, for Florida State there, as they were going to be off the field offensively.
Absolutely can't do it if you're Michael Jackson. That's the easiest call that official will make all day. Clearly the ball is gone. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage by Demetrius Jackson. Well played defensively. You're off the field. especially on 3rd and 15.
Yeah.
And then you give the Noles a fresh set of downs. You can't do that against quality competition.
I know it's a rivalry game. You're jacked up to play, but you got to hold your water. You just hurt your team. First down at the 35. And a huge running lane for Blackman, who dives to the 22-yard line. 13-yard pickup.
You see number 34 on the end of the line of scrimmage. He runs down with the zone read fake, which allows nothing but green grass to the outside for Blackman. Charles Perry took the cheese and allows the true freshman to get out in some free space. Well done. He doesn't run it often, but when he does, you got to be decisive north and south.
Or the 24-yard line now. This time he'll hand it off. Off the left side goes Patrick. Jaquez Patrick running all over this Miami defense so far. That's the 3rd big carry for Patrick, and it's a gain of about 12.
This running game is starting to feel itself after last week. They played a couple great run defenses in NC State and Alabama. Now they are starting to see some opportunities up front in the run game. They got to continue to commit to it.
Patrick again. 235 pounds between the tackles, gets 2 on the play. Joe Jackson on the stop.
Greg, you got to be impressed with the Florida State offensive line to this point. This is a unit that has been subject to much criticism, both internally and publicly, and they're going against the defensive front 7 with Miami. Those 3 linebackers, Michael Pinckney and Shaquille Quarterman and Zach McLeod, they have not been able to make plays and get off the second-level blocks.
And up front, Tom, they were banged up after last week. 3 guys, Derek Kelly, Landon Dickerson, and Cole Minshew, all a little bit beat up after the Wake Forest game. Answering the call now.
Off play action. Blackman looking. Enzo got a man, but he overthrew the intended receiver, Nyquan Murray. Nooney, as they call him, got free in the back of the end zone. Maybe the nerves got to Blackman on the throw. He had him.
He did. And the windows get tighter as you get close to the end zone. And Blackman, they're going to come after him every single snap. This Miami defense is aggressive, they're physical, and they're trying to affect the quarterback. Blackman has to be more accurate in the red zone when the windows are small and the timing is tight.
Chad Thomas said, "You're a true frosh. I'm going to just drive your helmet into the ground. Make you think twice when I come at you next time."
Little gamesmanship.
Happens in a rivalry game, of course. 3rd and 8, and they're going to keep it on the ground with Patrick. Interesting call there. That's got to show that Jim Fisher doesn't trust Blackman yet, and also maybe he expects this to be a low-scoring game, right? I mean, why else would you just hand it off there at 3rd down?
You just don't trust your quarterback. And you run it to the middle of the field, too, to make the field goal a little bit more makeable for Aguayo, who's been ice water throughout the course of his career for the most part.
Tell you what, too, Greg, is you've won the field position battle. Get points while you're on a short field.
Absolutely right, Tom.
27-yard attempt for Aguayo. Has made his last 8 kicks. And that one is on the money, and Florida State with the early lead.
Is a star, the running back for Miami. You see him going through the pregame, working that right ankle, no problems. And then you get to the left ankle, not quite the same look. He's been banged up to this point of the season. Still been very productive, but he hasn't been quite as explosive or powerful as he was a year ago. We'll keep an eye on that left ankle and see if it affects him moving forward throughout this game.
He's number 2 in the country in yards per carry and number 5 nationally in yards rushing. Overall, 403. Florida State strikes first with a short field goal by Aguayo. And now a touchback. Miami will start at the 25 as we check in with Adnan Burke. All right, Adnan, and an upset earlier today in the top 5 with Oklahoma going down at home. Florida State trying to upset Miami. The Seminoles have won 7 straight in the series. A lot of people saying, if not now, when, for Miami. Although in talking with Jimbo Fisher yesterday, we asked him, is this the best Miami team you faced? He said, no. He said they've been pretty much the same the last several years. And if Mark Walton's not 100%, they're definitely not the best team that Fisher's played against in his tenure. Walton's on the sideline here. And they dump the pass off to Jeff Thomas, a true freshman, lined up in the backfield. And the Seminoles are all over that.
Well, they might be giving Mark Walton just a bit of a rest here. And to follow up with Greg on that ankle injury, it wasn't an ankle twist, wasn't ligament or tendon related. He actually got hit, so it's more of a bone bruise type situation where he's dealing with pain tolerance. So they'll continue to work Jeff Thomas, the young freshman, and Travis Homer, as you see in there right now, number 24, next to Rozier.
Homer's averaging 8 yards a carry, so he's had a good start to the year so far. McFadden coming on a blitz. Rozier going downfield, and it's incomplete. Lawrence Cager went up high for that one. Couldn't pull it in with Levante Taylor in coverage. It'll be 3rd and 10.
If you're Rozier, you love the matchup. Cager at 6'5". Taylor at just a hair over 5'10". He had a chance at it. It's a good no call, too, by the officials. Some contact, but I think it was well within the rules.
He's got to make that catch, Greg.
You have to. If you're a 6'5" receiver and you're giving up that much of an advantage, you got to come down with those contested catches.
Look at McFadden, too, creeping up on the line again. Now he backs off. And Florida State was offside. Free play here for Miami. Rozier throws complete to Berrios. He doesn't get the first down, so they'll take the penalty here, and it'll be 3rd down and 5. Well, McFadden was almost offside on 2nd down. This time FSU was definitely in the neutral zone on the snap.
Offside. Defense. Number 3. 3rd down.
Yeah, you can see right here at the end of the line of scrimmage. Very obvious that he's in the neutral zone.
Joshua Canado.
Official, yeah.
Charles Kelly, the D coordinator for FSU. See what he does up here in 3rd and 5. All-world safety Derwin James lined up over the ball right now, standing up there. Rozier, another shot down the field, and Berrios trying to get there. The defender does first and breaks up the pass. Incomplete. A.J. Westbrook. Carlos Becker in coverage as well.
You don't see plays like this in the secondary every week. We go to games all the time, and it's rare to see that kind of range. Berrios is working on a corner route, running away from the free safety. A.J. Westbrook flies over the top and showcases world-class speed. Unbelievable play.
How about this, Greg? Miami's blown a second time out here.
Yeah.
In the first quarter. All right, so it'll be 4th down and 5. We'll see what Miami does. Imagine they're punting here. Not sure why Mark Richt called the timeout. Any surprises so far in this one?
No, not so far. I've been very impressed by Florida State trying to commit to the run game and not putting James Blackman in a difficult situation. You see them getting in fullback, tight ends, multiple tight ends, and running downhill right at this Miami team. They haven't been tested yet, and Miami so far in the first quarter having a difficult time containing the run game for the Seminoles.
You think it's fair to say that Miami's season starts now? Everybody wants to know, are the Canes back? Their defense looks so good against Duke, and all respect to Duke, but it's still Duke. The offense, though, not quite there, and we're seeing that today.
They haven't seen personnel like this. They've seen good, well-coached football team in Toledo and against Duke. Very well coached, execute at a high level, but they haven't seen NFL talent across the board like Florida State has.
Miami having some issues again getting lined up here. McFadden under this one, signaling, and it's fair caught at the 30-yard line, 45-yard punt. Earlier today, we celebrated Lee Corso's 300th headgear selection. And he went with the Horned Frogs, who are playing West Virginia. The former Florida State quarterback, Lee Corso. through the years has picked Florida State 19 times. He's picked 7 Miami wins. He's 2-3 all-time picking this game.
What a treasure. We love you, Coach.
Florida State back on offense. Blackman wide open in the middle of the field for a first down. Ryan Izzo, the tight end, just his 4th catch of the season. And it's a gain of 17.
Just a simple little smash, snag, flat route. It's a nice, easy progression for James Blackman. And a good job by Izzo sliding inside, giving his quarterback some room, and a good call by Randy Sanders, Jimbo Fisher.
They'll go back to the ground here, and it is Akers, the true freshman, staying in bounds, and then lowering the boom on the defender. A flag comes in, pushing and shoving, per usual, between these two teams. Redwine got lit up like a Cabernet on that one. I hope they're not calling a penalty on Florida State for that hit by Akers.
Well, they better not, guys. If they call targeting on Akers right there, that would be egregious.
There's no way.
I mean, Akers was out of bounds, but what's he supposed to do? The defender's coming flying at him.
That's what I think they might be looking at, is whether or not it's a late hit out of bounds.
Oh, he was tight roping the sideline.
I don't think you can call it. If that's what they call it here, I'll be disappointed.
Maybe. I mean, Redwine hit him late. He was already out of
There
bounds.
is no foul on a play for a late hit. Result of the play, first down.
Yeah, that was a bang-bang play.
Good
as soon
call.
as Cam Akers' left foot went out of bounds, it was within a yard or a step when Redwine actually made the hit. Or should I say, when Cam Akers made the hit. Redwine, the converted corner, not the biggest safety in the world. He felt the boom on that one.
Already 92 yards on the ground for Florida State, mixing Patrick and Akers. From the 41 of the Canes. Here's play action. Blackman on the rollout, and he throws it away. He wanted to take a shot down the field to Keith Gavin, but it was an excellent read by the safety, Jaquan Johnson, to get back there as Gavin was streaking down the numbers.
So far on 1st and 10, we've seen Jimbo Fisher throw the ball a number of times. He's run it a couple, but it's been all about picking up yards through the air on early downs, and they've been successful to this point. Behind the sticks now on 2nd and 10.
He'll give it to Akers, trying to cut it back. And Akers to the 37-yard line. Robert Knowles on the stop. They'll pick up a 4 on 1st down. Akers lost his helmet. He's got to come out for a play.
Tell you what, Akers is showing more physicality today than I have seen from him in the first 3 games. Usually he's trying to bounce everything to the outside. Today, he's lowering his shoulder and delivering some blows. You see why he was one of the top-rated recruits in the country at the running back position, Tom.
Yeah, #1 ranked running back who was a 4-year starter at quarterback. So he's had a lot to learn in his transition here in year 1.
So Jaquez Patrick replaces Akers here. 3rd down and 6. Blackman, and the receiver didn't. 3 drops. Tyler's been good punting so far. And Berrios again, the deep man. And Florida State able to keep it.
A half-second look, but remember, it has to show that indisputable video evidence on the replay to overturn it.
So 1st down for Miami on its 20-yard line. Mark Walton is back in, and he gets the call here off the left side. He lowers the shoulder.
That left ankle is going to be tested on those perimeter runs to the left. Looked just fine on that one.
Here's Walton again, trying to find a hole. It's not there. Good job.
Their own 17. And they're 0 for 3 on third down. Facing a lot of ACC foes that are outstanding and very well regarded in the second half of the season.
Including a game at the U, November 11th. 3rd and 4 for Miami. Some movement up front. No flag. Rozier trying to pick it up with his feet, and he's able to get the first down. He has to run the football. It did not in that first quarter. In fact, 24 yards total for the Hurricanes. Florida State had 124, had the ball for over 10 minutes, but only 3 points, so that's disappointing if you're a Seminole fan. Meanwhile, Malik Rozier making his 5th career start for Miami. Just got a first down with his feet from the 32. Walton again can't find a hole. Able to get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. Brian Burns on the stop. Married couples, one wearing a Seminole outfit and the other the U. Single coverage. Amon Richards, one of the top young receivers in college football, picks up close to 15 on the play. Just his 4th catch of the year because he missed the first 2 games of the season with a hamstring injury.
Yeah, they need to get him involved. You see early in the second quarter, say we got to get our stars going. We got Walton going a little bit. We got to get Rozier dialed in the passing game, and let's find 82 for a couple plays.
Back to the ground. Again, nothing for Walton. Able to stretch forward and get maybe 2.
They need to keep finding Amon Richards, number 82, because that time he was lined up against number 8, Stanford Samuels, who they really like, but he's just a true freshman. And that is not a matchup that Florida State wants to be in all day on defense.
And now he's going to be going to the other side.
That's right. There you
go. Against Tavares McFadden.
That's
one
the
of the
matchup
best
they want.
corners in the game.
I think it's a matchup we may be seeing for a lot of years to come.
Some pressure coming on the left side here.
And at the next level, both guys considered prospects. Rozier's pass. There was contact before the ball arrived by Florida State. Pass was intended for Cager. Samuels, a true freshman, looked like he got there before the ball, but no flag.
Yeah, just trying to work a little bit of an in route, and there was a little contact. The receiver, a little ginger coming out of it too. Cager, he's got to burst across on that in breaker and allow his quarterback some space to work. Bad route by Cager.
Rozier, who was named the starting quarterback 11 days before the opener on 3rd and long. Wow, that was ugly. I don't know what happened there. Derwin James trapped it. It's incomplete. That came out of his hand funny. 4th down.
This is one of those where Rozier is looking at his wide receiver. He's like, I got him, I got him, I got him. Oh wait, number 3, no. Try to pull the trigger. You see he's just kind of tries to stop himself from letting go of it. The ball dies like a sinker.
Wishes that was on a yo-yo string, Greg.
I'll tell you what, that happens though. Even some of the best ones get fooled in coverage.
Here's Fiegels to punt, and may have gotten blocked, may have gotten tipped there. It works out well. Rolls down near the 12-yard line, so 39-yard punt. Brian Burns, who already blocked a punt this year, the 2nd time in his career, may have gotten a piece of that one. Seminoles with their first drive of the second quarter, starting from their 12-yard line. And here's Gavin on the pitch. Past the 15 for about 4.
Florida State's done a great job on the ground at this point, but Miami defensively, look at their 2 linebackers. Michael Pinckney, Shaq Quarterman, number 55. They're extremely aggressive, and they've found themselves getting out of position on multiple plays, which allowed big runs for the Florida State offense. They got to be more disciplined and fit the gap a little tighter than they are right now.
On 2nd and 6, they hand it off. Miami is all over that one. Now, the longer the 3rd down gets, the more difficult, obviously, it is to convert, especially when you got a true freshman Just 3rd and 5. Let's see how he handles this. You're asked to do a lot as a quarterback in this offense. And down goes the quarterback, Blackman, as Demetrius Jackson.
They've done such a good job getting after the passer and making plays in the backfield, and Florida State struggled with it.
Heads up play by the right tackle, Rick Leonard, jumping on that loose ball back at the 4-yard line. Excellent punt. Berrios backing up from the 43. And Berrios going to lose a lot. Taken down back at the 33-yard line. After a great punt by Florida State, plus the face mask on the return man, Braxton Berrios, and that puts the ball at the Miami 21. Malik Rozier, the junior quarterback, going to keep it here, and he's spun down for a loss at the 20-yard line as we check in with Adnan. All right, so how much now the Big 12's playoff hopes on the shoulders of TCU, or is it way too early to even have that discussion?
It's too early. Don't count Oklahoma out yet.
2nd down and 11 over the middle. It is juggled and then incomplete. Richards just couldn't hang on.
They're struggling to get into any rhythm. A lot of credit is deserved to Florida State. They are playing great on defense so far.
Florida State backs off, rushes just 3 on 3rd and long. Rozier's pass is way off the mark, incomplete, intended. The block at the Rock last year. He already had a block by Florida State earlier on a punt. And this one takes a Miami hop near the 32. Quick.
I think Ohio State as well.
You guys looked. Blackman in trouble here. Trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's dragged down by R.J. McIntosh for a sack. That's his 3rd sack of the year. First time this year you guys get it right. First time I think in the last 2 years you get it right.
My goodness.
5 years for me.
Yeah. 27 for Ohio State. Alabama 3rd.
See Florida State, obviously. The amount of talent that's on the field right now is truly off the charts. These two teams for the last few decades have been so incredible.
Amir Rasul is in the game at running back. Instead, it's a pass out on the flat to Murray. Grabbed at the ankles and brought down after a pickup of 6. And we check in with Adnan. Oklahoma losing today doesn't help their cause.
Right. Still have Penn State and Michigan, and if you win the Big Ten with 1 loss, I like their chances.
3rd and 5. Blackman to throw. Everybody covered. Blackman taken off and will not get the 1st down. McIntosh there again.
For sure.
Logan Tyler getting his name called a lot on TV today. This is a moon ball. It didn't go very far. But it takes another bounce inside the 30-yard line. That springs underneath the grass here at Doak Campbell. In the Peach Bowl, because of an injury. 1st and 10. Rozier struggling, but not on that pass. On target. 1st down. True freshman Jeff Thomas. Gain of 11.
Yeah, they have to get the quick passing game going for Malik Rozier. Before that pass, he was only 3 of 11. He has to get into a rhythm to soften up this defense, because Florida State, when they know what's coming, they're very difficult to push around.
So that's only the 7th play they've gotten positive yardage on here in the 1st half. Rozier will throw again. And this one is knocked away by McFadden, intended for Richards. It's a great matchup.
And of course, McFadden, one of the best defensive backs in the land. Few teams will test him. But with Amon Richards out there, if I'm Rozier, I might give it a couple more looks. But with coverage that tight, it's going to be tough to get a lot of completions.
Think about it. He had 8 picks last year. That's a ton for a guy that it doesn't get thrown at a lot. As they run Walton here, just trying to get anything to make it 3rd and manageable. There's a penalty flag down. They get about 3 yards. If it holds up. Miami's offense just can't get out of its own way right now.
Block in the back. Offense, number 82. 10-yard penalty. Still, second down.
So Richards with a drop and now a penalty on a block in the back.
Just a dumb penalty. It's unnecessary. Those are the mistakes you can't make. Not against a defense that is this much potential and quality throughout. This defense is one of the best in the country, and if you're constantly in a second and long situation, you're going to have a very difficult time sustaining drives.
I think Jimbo Fisher was thinking about declining that penalty. He was trying to figure out, okay, what is 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8? And once he got that information from the officials, he decided, okay, let's back him up.
If you're Miami right here, since Florida State's been barreling down, it might be time to go with a little bit of a screen pass or something to one of your wide receivers in space.
When and how will Mark Richt make adjustments? Play action. Rozier takes off. Rozier gets knocked down hard at the 35-yard line by Matthew Thomas. Little forearm shiver to get him to the ground. Get back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and long.
What a hit, Matthew Thomas. And a good job right there by Malik Rozier. 2nd and long. Nothing's there. You see some green grass in front. Go north and south to set up a little bit more manageable 3rd down. If I'm him, I'm looking for Ahman Richards, testing that matchup against McFadden.
3rd down and 9. Rozier to the air. Wrapped up and brought down. Brian Burns. Last year, as a freshman, had almost 10 sacks. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage there, so it wouldn't officially be a sack for Burns, but still a great play to force a punt.
Burns isn't the biggest guy on the field, only around 227 pounds. Man, he's quick.
Another fantastic punt. Fair catch made at the 16-yard line.
Well, fellas, anytime you have a matchup of this magnitude, that means you're going to have wars in recruiting as well. And everybody and their brother wants to dip down into South Florida. Take a look at these 3 counties. Palm County, Broward County, and Miami-Dade. And look at the numbers. But Miami-Dade, Florida State's gotten 4 prospects out of there. So when you consider a Kelvin Benjamin that went to Glade Central, Dalvin Cook that went to Miami Central, you get a handful of guys each and every year. Doesn't have to be 20, but get a couple out of Miami's territory, you're going to build quite an impressive roster.
That might be the most talented county in the country, Tom.
There ain't no doubt, and everybody has parked their car in that county.
1st down on the 17 for Florida State. Off the left side goes Jaquez Patrick. Another terrific scamper by Patrick for 9 as we check in with Adnan. Well, Adnan, you know Luganville does not mess around when it comes to recruiting. This guy knows all when it comes to the best high school players and the best school.
Jimbo Fisher yesterday, he said, man, when he doesn't score a touchdown on every single snap, it's like he's disappointing you. That's what he's done the last 4 years as a star in Mississippi. So now when he's going against guys that are equal in talent, it's okay to gain 7 yards. It's not a bad place. He's learning, but man, is he going to be a good one here in the years to come.
7 yards, you'll be 5th in the country in yards per carry. He gets about 5 or 6 here.
There it is. That's what you want right there.
Yeah, and finishing runs, north and south. And don't try to run to the outside the way you've always done. But Tom, you said it. When you're a quarterback and you're doing zone read schemes, which is exactly what Cam Akers did when he was a high school player, your whole world is on the perimeter.
Right.
You're outside the tackles all the time. Now that he's having to run between, it takes some nuances and some learning to get on the level of some of the great backs we've seen in years past here in Tallahassee.
Akers again, and this time he's drilled by Michael Pinckney. Remember last year you had the three linebackers for Miami, Quarterman, Pinckney, and McLeod. They were all true freshmen starting for Miami.
Got to be impressed here with Jimbo Fisher. Guys, Jaquez Patrick goes down and you line up and you hand it to the young true freshman with 3 consecutive plays.
Now 3rd and 5. So they're trying to keep Blackman in 3rd and medium. Obviously they love 3rd and short, but he's 0 for 6 on 3rd down. Did have a drop earlier by Gavin. Blackman, and Gavin making the catch out near midfield. 14 yards on the pickup.
A great job by James Blackman. You see the pressure coming around the edge. They decide to bring Pinckney and vacate the middle of the field with that zone pressure. It's exactly the area of the field that they work. A good job by the quarterback recognizing that green grass and finding his receiver in stride.
From the Seminole 47-yard line, Akers trying to find a hole. He does, and tripped up by Jaquan Johnson. Otherwise he may have had that big run. He's still got 8.
Well, this is the best Cam Akers has looked. This drive right here, this is the best I've seen him early in his college career. You see that decisive one-cut running that we saw for so many years from Dalvin Cook. Some people think that Cam Akers, his future could resemble that of the former Noll Star.
Cook now with the Vikings, obviously dealing with injury there in Minnesota this year, unfortunately. 1st down and more for Akers inside the Miami 40. Both Patrick and Akers and that offensive line, you mentioned it earlier, Greg, banged up on the left side, but right now they are owning the line of scrimmage, just leaning on that Miami front.
Yeah, they are. That running game is really starting to get going, and that's exactly what Jimbo Fisher has always done. Yeah, he's had great quarterbacks, 3 first-rounders, but it's about the run game. That's the starting point.
They have all their timeouts. They're inside the Miami 40-yard line, but here's a good play by Chad Thomas. Wrapping up Akers for a loss. They came in averaging 9 tackles for a loss per game. They've already had a handful, including 3 sacks. Second-year D coordinator Manny Diaz, former student at Florida State.
Jaquez Patrick back in the game now at tailback, guys.
And has to come in for 2nd and 14. Blackman to throw. And underneath to Patrick. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. So 3rd and long coming up.
I tried to get with a little Vegas screen, but no pressure coming from Miami. The linebackers were easily able to rally to the throw. You got to be smart with the clock here too. I think Jimbo Fisher obviously thinking about letting that clock run all the way down, so if in fact they do have to give it back to Miami, it will be with minimal time and on 1 timeout.
Run play here. Just try to get a chunk.
I would throw it. I would throw it. I would throw it downfield. That's what James Blackman does best early in his career.
He's going to throw it on 3rd down and 15. And over the middle, it's picked off. He threw it way over the head of the tight end Ryan Izzo, and Michael Jackson with a diving interception. Caught it with his glove. And they're trying to get the turnover chain. I mean, look, he's jumping up and down saying, where's my chain? They give a necklace each time you get a turnover, and Michael Jackson's got it right now.
Of course, make sure he caught it. This ACC crew will look at it from every angle. Doesn't catch it initially, but does he secure it before he hits the ground? It appears like he does. Catastrophic mistake right there from James Blackman.
Well, and it may not be,
Greg. On the field. There's an interception. The previous play is under review.
It may not be, Greg, because Miami hasn't been able to get the length of their pinky finger on offense. So if you consider the field position.
Flag was thrown in the backfield. Brian Burns got pressure.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense. Number 9. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Well, Miami had one of those earlier. Now it's Florida State's turn for the dumb penalty to keep the drive alive late in the quarter.
That was close. That was bang, bang. It's not often that you see call made like that. That certainly wasn't egregious.
I think that's a bad call,
I
Greg.
think so too, Tom.
That's the act of the tackle.
And that's coming from 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
For the first time this year, 3 guys agree, because I'm with you guys. On first down, Rozier sacked. And no flag. Josh Sweat. Just a 2nd sack of the year after 7 last year. One of the top recruits in the country a couple years ago. And a timeout called here by Miami. That is the final timeout by the Hurricanes. Well, if you're Florida State, I mean, you're 0-2 for the first time in 3 decades. You go to play a Wake Forest team that's really good defensively. Yeah. You sneak out of there with a win. You got a true freshman quarterback, and you're playing lights out defensively right now.
Yeah, but you knew that your defense was going to be exceptional coming into the year. All the personnel back, all the stars, all the players that have a lot of long future ahead of them on Sundays. Now they're having to lean on them because of the injury to Francois. But you start to see the running game getting going too, which has got to be a sign that this team starting to understand who they are. Their defense, they can lean on them, but that run game could become pretty special if this offensive line continues to improve. But Miami hasn't had much of a pulse offensively all day.
First sack of the game for FSU. Rozier running here, trying to get some yardage back. That's interesting. They called the timeout. Now let's see if they hustle 3rd and long, or if they just say, you know what, we're just going to let the clock run down here. He had 12 guys on the field at one point. 3rd and 13. Rozier going downfield. Oh, he had a man, but he overthrew Lawrence Cager. There was a defender who was hurling down on Cager, but he was open.
He had him for a minute. But man, that's a tough throw. A very tough throw. And that's a small window considering the ball's traveling 40 yards downfield. Rozier tried to make it, probably pressing a little bit. He's lucky he didn't throw his wide receiver into a massive blow-up in the back end.
Rozier, 2 of his last 13, and you saw that they haven't run a play in Miami territory. So the fair catch made by McFadden with 3 seconds left. Let's see if Florida State lets Blackman, who has decent arm to throw it deep, or if they just take a knee and go to halftime with a 3-0 lead.
I think you kneel on it, especially given the way Miami's been able to get after the passer today. Already 3 sacks registered by the Canes defense. So kneel on it, go into halftime feeling good about what your team's done to this point.
Plus, if you get it picked off deep, remember Miami's got that lateral thing mastered. I don't know if you want that to happen again. 3-0 Florida State at halftime. Let's go back to the studio.
Is streaming live on the ESPN app. Download now and take ESPN everywhere.
Welcome back to Tallahassee and ESPN's afternoon college football presented by PlayStation Vue. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Florida State leads Miami as we get ready for quarter number 3. 3-0. The Noles trying to get back to 500. Miami trying to stay unbeaten. The opposite of gaudy numbers in the first half for both teams. 54 yards of offense for Miami. Now they had the ball half the amount of time that Florida State, and the Seminoles could only muster 163 and a field goal. We'll see what kind of adjustments both offensive-minded head coaches make here, if they can make them with their personnel. Tyler's kick will result in a touchback, and Miami will start on the 25. 1959. That's the lowest scoring game in the series. You weren't around because I know I wasn't around. Our parents may not have been around either. That was 7-6, by the way, in case you're wondering. Miami won it. Bad offense, really good defense, combination of both.
Combination of both. You have to give credit to what these defenses are doing. At the line of scrimmage, they are not getting pushed around whatsoever, especially when you look at what Florida State is doing defensively, who will get the start here in the second half. These 2 defensive tackles, both Noddy and Christmas, have been a handful for the Canes to this point.
530 punt yards combined between these two teams. Rozier off a pump fake, taking a shot down the field, and almost intercepted by McFadden. Did a great job, but they call a flag. Boy, it looked like he had good coverage that time and almost picked off the ball.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 4. 15 penalty. First down.
Look at McFadden right here. Never looks back at the football. That's going to get called every single time. Now, it was tight coverage. If he just turns over his right shoulder and looks back at the football, it's not only not a pass interference, it could be an interception.
Westbrook still almost got it on the redirection, but because of the foul, first down at the 40-yard line for Miami. They come out throwing here. It's deflected and almost picked off by Matthew Thomas. Wow.
And Matthew Thomas, talk about reading eyes really quick. Rozier's eyes to the left. Thomas drops right underneath the stop route on the left-hand side, almost picks it off. Just too much juice on the ball from Rozier.
You got to wonder about the health of Mark Walton. They're coming out throwing it on first down, and Rozier is 4 of 17. You're going to throw it again here. Berrios out in space, and it's a good pickup. Banged out a play at the 48-yard line. Derwin James on the hit, gain of about 8.
And I think they're throwing it because they recognize that they have a significant disadvantage in the trenches right now. Based on the way the first half played out, running the ball is not the answer because of these defensive tackles and this defensive front seven for Florida State.
And especially if your number 1 tailback's not 100%. That was a terrific throw by Rozier. That's his guy, Braxton Berrios. They were one-time roommates. They have a connection. Berrios has as many catches now this season than he had all of last year. Well, Brad Kaaya was the quarterback.
He's been very reliable and has uncovered on multiple occasions for Rozier. Just a quick slot receiver that's very versatile.
From the Florida State 47. Rozier, quarterback keeper. And he gets leveled as he went for the slide. No flag, though, as Myers came in with a hit. So they come out throwing to try to open up the run game. And the quarterback picks up about 5.
Miami getting back to some of those RPO concepts with bubbles by the slot receivers and zone read between the running back and the quarterback, having success early.
First time Miami's been in Florida State territory. A pass break up at the 25-yard line by Westbrook. Earned in the tight end was the intended receiver.
This offense has got to become more diverse in some of their route patterns and their concepts. I mean, they've become predictable right now, Greg. You've had slants by the inside guys off the zone read action, slants by the outside targets, and Amon Richard off of the zone read action, and really nothing else. So these Florida State defenders are in position to make the play.
And look how close to the line of scrimmage all these defenders are. They're a confident group, and they're going to challenge every throw.
No down linemen. All standing up. Coming after Rozier here in 3rd down and 5. Going deep for Berrios. Berrios adjusts. Makes a terrific grab. A penalty flag is down. Did Berrios push up? Yes, he did. That'll be on him. And negates a 35-yard reception.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 8. 15-yard penalty. 4 down.
What a huge call. Look at Berrios. Oh, that's very obvious with his left hand. You see him right to the back of Kyle Myers' jersey, and Myers goes flying forward. Good call by the official. That doesn't always get called, especially when you don't see extension by the wide receiver. It's a great eye by this ACC officiating crew.
Now you're 3rd and 20. Still haven't handed it off to Walton at all in this drive. Do they do it here and just play it conservatively and go for field position? Nope, they're going to let Rozier sling it, and he's looking downfield. How did a receiver get open? Amon Richards on 3rd and 20 down the sideline, and they move the sticks 33 yards.
How did a receiver get open? How did Miami's best receiver get open is the better question. McFadden just in a cover 2. His responsibility is the flat. The safety's late getting over the top. It's a big-time throw from Rozier.
Rozier will keep it here off the left side. He's got running room. Gets a huge block. It was Richards unloading on A.J. Westbrook. And that gets the Kane fans fired up. Westbrook is hurt.
What a hit.
Is that legal?
It is, but that is a lot of contact. You can see he lowers his head. It's all on the shoulder.
He was in front of him.
He's in front of him. It's legal. It's within the rules. It's just a bang-bang collision. And credit Miami and this wide receiver group. Over the last couple years, they've been one of the best blocking wide receiver groups I've seen in college football.
Back in a moment. One of the all-time great rivalries in college football. We've had just about everything so far except touchdowns. Big hits, big punts. We even had defensive lineman for Miami, Kendrick Norton, playing the guitar with James Blackman's leg after he sacked him. Look at Miami on this drive. More yards here than they had the entire first half. After the run by Rozier at 2nd down and 2. Walton's first touch of the 3rd quarter, and he's spun forward by Josh Sweat close to the 1st down at the 15-yard line.
Walton, we referenced it in the first half. He's been nursing an ankle injury. The left ankle just doesn't have the same level of explosiveness that we've seen from him over the years. He's just a little hesitant when he hits the hole. Something to watch here in the next 30 minutes of this ball game.
Only his 7th carry of the game for 13 yards. On 1st down, it's Rozier keeping it. Sweat on the takedown, so just a couple of yards for Rozier. Again, this is just the 5th career start. We talked a lot about Blackman for Florida State, his inexperience at quarterback. This is Rozier's first time in the rivalry. And he started one game 2 years ago, and Brad Kai was hurt. Won all 3 games he's played so far this year as a starting quarterback. But obviously this is the biggest test so far.
And the first time in a truly hostile environment. Tallahassee, one of the toughest places to play.
Rozier has a couple rushing touchdowns on the year. On 2nd and 9. Pulls it back. Throws end zone, and he had Berrios. He just threw it wide of him. So it's 3rd down and 9. Be about a 30-yard field goal attempt from here if they are unable to convert.
He had Berrios in the back of the end zone, but man, there was some push up front that made it difficult for Rozier to follow through on his throw, which caused it to drift. Now, here in 3rd and 9, I think Rozier has to drop back and try to find Ahman Richards, 82. They connected for a big 3rd down conversion earlier in the drive, and he's his best weapon offensively.
Bottom of your screen matched up on McFadden. Florida State showing blitz. Here they come on 3rd and 9. And Rozier, it was deflected at the line, it appeared, and then almost intercepted by McFadden. So it's 4th down.
He tried to find Richards. And a great job by McFadden closing that gap. That was well covered. Not a lot of places to go with it. Ball came out a little funny. I don't know if it for sure was tipped.
Yeah, it did.
That was Ermon Lane, guys, the former wide receiver, number 7, the safety in the gap there.
Actually, that was a great play.
31-yard try. Badgley to tie the game. And we're even at 3 apiece.
The kick is good. Florida State 3, Miami 3.
A backstage pass all weekend long into what goes into staging a college football game. Here's Florida State's mascot, Chief Osceola, along with Renegade getting prepped and ready. How about that? The horse gets a police escort. You guys had to walk from the hotel. The play-by-play guy had a lift, but
the horse is more important than some of the players, I feel like. No, all joking aside, man, how great is that?
There's the payoff, right?
Dave, the horse is a sedentary animal. Greg and I are thoroughbreds.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I've been looking forward to this game all week, and I've been looking forward to that moment maybe as much as any in our broadcasting career. Seeing that at midfield was really special, and taking it all in. What a great tradition Florida State has.
Miami ties the game with a short field goal, and now the kickoff was through the end zone for a touchback. James Blackman threw an interception towards the end of the first half after getting injured. He was taken down twice by R.J. McIntosh, and on this last one you see him go for the right ankle. He got that heavily taped shortly thereafter.
Yeah, and if you look at his feet now in the second half, he has tape on both ankles. So it'll be something to watch here in the plays to come. Can he drive off that right foot?
Jacquez Patrick out there as well. Remember, he got dinged a little bit in the first half. Play action, Blackman being chased. Good job by the tight end not to hold. Blackman's pass, dangerous throw. It's picked off. Dee Delaney on the interception, and Miami takes over in Florida State territory, and they're getting the chain ready. The turnover chain is coming out again. Second takeaway for the Canes.
Blackman getting out and making a very bad decision. Throwing into double coverage to the corner route. He had a wide receiver about 6 yards from the line of scrimmage standing right on the boundary, which would have been a massive, massive play if he would have just taken it right there. There was no one around. Delaney dropped way out underneath. And you give it to one of these Florida State wide receivers in space. Who knows what they're going to do with it? What a bad decision from the true freshman.
No interceptions in his 3 previous starts. 2, I should say, previous starts, but 2 so far today as Miami runs Mark Walton here straight ahead. And it's a gain of 4. Jacob Pugh on the tackle.
Just feel the life kind of go out of this stadium a little bit after the first drive by Miami and then converting for a field goal, and now after the interception, not quite as noisy as it is for this Miami offense to operate and communicate.
Pass play, Rozier in trouble, and he's able to get away from Noddy and get out of bounds. Go down as a sack, loss of 3 on the play, so 3rd and long for Malik Rozier. Turnover. Everybody's got turnover chains now if you're a Canes fan, and it's 7 times they've given out the chain this year. 7 takeaways by the defense. Rozier on 3rd and long. Receiver comes open again. Amon Richards somehow gets open on 3rd down and long. Massive mistake defensively by Florida State, giving up 18 yards.
Amon Richards didn't have much going in the first half, but you think they've made him a point of emphasis here after halftime? 3 receptions already. A target in the red zone. And then they're opening it up on the dig route. Outstanding stuff, beating that zone coverage from Florida State.
A.J. Westbrook, who was injured earlier after getting drilled by Amon Richards, but walked under his own power to the sideline. He's shaken up again. So 1st down for the Hurricanes inside the Florida State 30-yard line.
And you're starting to see Malik Rozier really get into the game. He has been streaky, to say the least. Look, he hasn't played a lot of football, but he's a veteran guy and he's hung in there. But when he catches fire, he's as good as anybody in the ACC, and right now he's dealing a hot hand.
They just said the previous play is under review. They're just going to look to see if indeed it was a reception. Well, you mentioned the inexperience of Rozier. At one time, Mark Richt, the head coach, said, "You won't play for me," because he would freelance too much, try to do his own thing, Rozier. And Rick told him that. Rozier took it to heart and has become more of an efficient player. Now, actually, we're being told that it's not an issue of the catch. It's where did he go down? Because clearly he's got the ball. He's got possession of it. The question is, did he go down there at the 33 or did he make it to the 29? It didn't appear that his knee was down, and they marked it at the 29. So that's the ruling on the field.
And these are the replays that I just don't like. I understand it's a difference of a couple yards.
That's big, Greg, in a 3-3 game. And his knee is down there looking at that replay.
It is, but any momentum created by the conversion has now been squashed because they want to take a look at a difference of a couple yards. It's just not a big enough deal to me to warrant looking at it and making up this much of a difference. Now all the momentum for the offense is squashed, like I said.
Yeah, but it's the right call. Miami shouldn't be given the 29-yard line.
Receiver caught the ball. His knee was down with the ball at the 32-yard line. It is still a first down, 1st and 10 at the 32.
I mean, those 3 yards could make all the difference between winning and losing, especially in this rivalry.
You're right. It's a game of inches. There's no denying that. It just, when you're an offensive player and you're getting into a rhythm and you're starting to feel a flow, both in the passing game and with what your offensive coordinator is calling, when you have hesitations in the action, it's tough to recover from time to time.
And especially for a young quarterback. So let's take a look here at Rozier and how he handles the situation after getting into a rhythm. Walton trying to pick a hole, reverses field, and is swarmed by Florida State defenders. Lane leading the charge, so it's a loss of a yard on the play.
I'm so impressed with this Florida State defense. Not only are they gifted physically, but they play so well within the scheme. They contain runners, they don't get out of their gap along the front, and then they rally to the football when a ball carrier is about to be stopped. Really fun to watch this group, and they're going to continue to improve.
They've won 7 in a row against Miami. Last win for the Canes was here in 2009. And here's a deep ball into the end zone, overthrown and intercepted. Picked off by the true freshman Stanford Samuels in the end zone for a touchback. And on the next play, it's an interception by Rozier, so Florida State takes over on the 20-yard line. And they run the ball, and falling forward is true freshman Cam Akers for 2 yards to the 22.
And it's important to note the ACC officiating crew, the replay officials, the people back in Greensboro headquarters, they did the right thing, but it kills the offense's momentum, and it's tough to retain.
Here's a pitch to Akers, trying to get outside, a flag down. Akers picks up about 3. Blake Young on the takedown, but again, a penalty flag that is against Florida State.
Holding. Offense, number 54, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's the center, Alec Eberle.
Keep an eye on Eberle right over the middle. See if he grabs the defender. Clearly does. You see that left hand grabbing the shoulder of big number 7, Kendrick Norton.
He didn't like Norton playing the quarterback's leg as a guitar in the first quarter. That's still, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
That's a unique celebration. I'm gonna hang on to that one.
He tackled Blackman, held his leg, and then act like he was playing the guitar.
That's gift worthy.
That was great.
And he just forced a holding penalty on Florida State, 2nd and 18. Akers finds running room past the 20-yard line. Well, he gets 12 yards there. Big run on 2nd down when they needed a chunk play.
Huge run. Right there. Had some contact in the backfield. He put his foot in the ground and went right up the gut for a nice gain to set up 3rd and manageable. We haven't seen Tate get involved much in the passing game. At some point, they got to get their big star wide receiver, Auden Tate, involved. You see he's on the motion.
Battling a shoulder injury. Here's a screen, and Patrick can't come up with it. Oh, he gets drilled after the whistle. They throw the flag, but I don't know that that's right. I don't know that Michael Pinckney, the Miami linebacker, knew exactly what had taken place. He thought it was a fumble, and that's why he came and drilled Jacquez Patrick.
It doesn't matter if he knew or not. Still should be a penalty.
There is no foul on the play. The result of the play is an incomplete pass.
I think they got it right there.
Wow, I think that should be a penalty. I understand, look, intent, all that stuff. He didn't mean to hit Patrick late.
But he doesn't unload on him here. I mean, he tries to hold up at the last. He doesn't go for the head or anything. It's not a defenseless player.
It's still 2 steps away. That should be a call. It should be a call. And I'm an offensive guy. I understand that as a former quarterback. But right there, Pinckney was late. I know he didn't intend to do anything wrong, but what he did was in fact wrong. And I think it should have been rewarded with a fresh set of downs for Florida State, given the contact that was had.
I'm not so sure he didn't think he fumbled it.
Well,
I think
that's what I said.
did.
Yeah, I think he thought that's why he hit him so hard. Line drive, Berrios from the 35-yard line. Penalty marker down, as there isn't just about every kick. Berrios inside the 40-yard line. Berrios tackled at the 20. The official picked up the flag.
There wasn't a penalty.
Hey, he meant to throw his marker
the flag,
down.
but he meant to throw the beanbag.
Yep.
Which, it's a little different meaning. The beanbag is when the ball changes possessions or when it's a fumble. He threw the flag instead.
But I think Florida State saw that. And when you see the flag thrown,
And look at the official.
you assume it's coming back.
You can see the flag fly in there, but he ran right to it, embarrassingly enough, grabbed the flag, put it in his pocket, and then threw the beanbag.
Hoping nobody would see it.
But you got to think Florida State did. That had to have impacted the play.
You see the beanbag located right next to that flag on his right hip. That time, the beanbag's on his left hip now. I think he might have had it on the wrong side. Big return, though, from Berrios nonetheless.
First down of the 21-yard line of Florida State. Pass play, Rozier looking end zone, back shoulder throw, Berrios, touchdown, Miami. Braxton Berrios with a touchdown catch in every game so far this season for Miami. First player since Andre Johnson. Their stories are a little different. Andre Johnson, highly recruited, multiple Pro Bowls in the NFL. Braxton Berrios had 12 catches all of last year. He had the great punt return to set up his own touchdown catch. And the point after makes it 10-3 Canes.
We talked about Rozier dealing a hot hand. How about Braxton Berrios, the punt return, and then getting rewarded with the seam route and the back shoulder catch. Rozier's loving it. So are the Canes.
Bears fans, a lot of them anyway, have been calling for Mitchell Trubisky for a while. They get their wish. On Monday Night Football, he makes his debut as the Bears starting quarterback as they take on Minnesota. Don't know who the Vikings quarterback will be because of Bradford's ailments. It all starts in Monday Night Countdown, 6 Eastern. Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, Tom Luginbill here in Tallahassee. The first touchdown of the game comes at the 6:57 mark, and Miami in front after trailing 3-0 at halftime. And wow, Gavin stutter steps, takes it out, and should not have. He gets leveled at the 10-yard line.
Let's go back to the touchdown. This is all made possible because Derwin James is favoring the right hash. I don't know why either, because the two best receivers, this is Berrios and this is Amon Richards on a fade under route. How can Derwin James be on the right-hand side when the two biggest threats in the passing game are on the left-hand side? He's got to be smarter in understanding where the personnel is, because he just hung out A.J. Westbrook with one-on-one coverage against a very capable slot receiver. Derwin James is a star, as good a college football player as we have in this country. But right there, tried to get a little tricky with his eyes, trying to fool Rozier. And Rozier knew exactly where to go with it. Great execution.
And you got Westbrook, who's been shaken up twice. And speaking of injuries, the return man, Keith Gavin, is down. He got suplexed
on the line of scrimmage, not making mistakes at the quarterback spot. And it's about whether or not Miami's ready for the moment. Everyone thinks that this team's ready to take a big step forward. We're going to find out in the next 21 minutes of game time whether or not they are.
Patrick trying to cut it back, taken down for a loss. It was Shaq Quarterman.
Multiple tight ends. We haven't seen that yet to this point in the second half. And here they are again in 11 personnel with 3 wide receivers on the field.
That pass juggled and then pulled in by Izzo. Did a nice job.
They do decide to throw it here.
Rolling left, now in trouble, being chased. Blackman throws it up for Tate and throws it away, but there's a penalty marker down in the backfield.
Given the amount of people that are in the box for Miami.
He's got Patrick with him in the backfield. They fake the jet sweep. Blackman breaks a tackle, dives, and has the first down. The kid made a pull.
After that one.
Let's see how that impacts the confidence of Blackman. Maybe gets him going. They run Akers. Beautiful cutback by Akers. Right behind a teammate, cutting it back to the middle and picking up 13 yards and a first down. See, Blackman comes in as a true freshman. Never thought he'd play at all this year. And then he starts the next 3 games, including here today against the rivals. Akers. Now late. I'm not getting in the ring with those guys.
No.
First down on the 27 of Florida State. Blackman tried to dump it off, and it was almost picked off. It was deflected by McIntosh at the line of scrimmage. Texas A&M. Be a great redemption story if TCU can somehow make it to the college football playoff. Jacquez Patrick to the 32, picks up 5 yards on 2nd and 20, so you're going to 3rd down and long here.
Yeah, this is such a tough spot to be in. And if you look, Miami just subbed out about, looked like 15 guys. Of course, it was only about 7 or 8, but a whole new set of bodies, and the depth of this defense is so improved from where it was a year ago. Manny Diaz, the defensive coordinator, has no problem taking out his starters and putting in the replacements, or in this case, taking out the replacements, putting the starters back in for 3rd down.
3rd and 16. They'll let Blackman throw it. He's in trouble, gets hit, and it's incomplete. Joe Jackson had pressure. And pushing and shoving after the play, Derek Kelly shoves Joe Jackson. But for now, the officials keeping hold of their flags.
How great are rivalry games? I mean, it's just every snap. You don't know what you're going to get. Joe Jackson right there taking the left tackle, Derek Kelly, for a ride. And bringing Blackman down. Done a pretty good job offensively in the run game, but they've struggled in the passing game throughout the course of the game.
Logan Tyler has really punted the ball beautifully today. Gets off another good one. Berrios forced to make the fair catch. 52-yard punt. Well, think of all the great.
So he kind of waited in the wings, but now as a senior, he's taking full advantage of his opportunity.
And he's a Campbell Trophy finalist. That goes to the academic Heisman winner, so to speak. Pass downfield in traffic, broken up by Derwin James. It was intended for Amandi. Derwin James can play all 11 positions. He's probably exaggerating, but he can definitely play corner. That was a great break on the ball. Rozier will keep on 2nd and 10. Gets a block and close to the first down. So a fresh set of downs for Miami on the 28-yard line. Here's a pass to Richards out in space, and an excellent block downfield by the true freshman Mike Harley, springing Richards on the 35-yard line. And Walton goes around Berrios. Looked like he could have just cut upfield, but he didn't. He went around Berrios. Pushed out of bounds by Thomas into the Florida State bench, but Walton escapes. It'll be 3rd down.
Tell you what, he's just not the same guy today. 10 carries, only 15 yards, and he's not 100%. Every time he's gotten the football, Florida State has been able to find him. Of course, he has that left ankle that's been bothersome. Still been
hard and get the first down to the 40-yard line. The senior from Raleigh, North Carolina, 5'9", 180 pounds, having a career day.
He just knows how to get open. I mean, he's not the fastest. He's certainly not the biggest at 5'9", but he knows how to use his body and to create separation. He's very savvy within the routes that Mark Richt puts on him, and man, does Rozier trust him in the passing game.
Rozier to the air again, takes off with everybody covered and slides. It'll go down as a sack, a loss of a couple. You had Jacob Pugh. Cage are able to make the catch. That was McFadden who was initially on ABC. ESPN's afternoon college football presented by PlayStation Vue. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Start of the fourth quarter. This game originally scheduled for September 16th, postponed because of Hurricane Irma. We thought we might have hurricane conditions 2 days ago here, but it's been sunny skies most of the day. And there was some contact downfield on 3rd and 6 between Mullins
by the official.
True freshman Zach Fiegel, whose dad Jeff played 22 years in the NFL. Short punt. And Florida State will take that. Only a 33-yard boot.
Jackson. I will never forget that name for as long as I live. What an ending.
Florida State takes over on the 23. And they run the ball. Nice hole. Akers bouncing off tacklers. And he's free at midfield. Into Cane territory. The true freshman. Not the quarterback. But it's Akers with the big play here in the fourth quarter.
This has been Florida State's bread and butter all day. Under center. Downhill. Rushing attack. And Cam Akers in the open field starting to deliver on all that promise that he had coming out of high school as one of the top-ranked players in the country. What a great play by the Noles offense.
46 yards. And what did Jimbo tell us yesterday? Just keep trying between the tackles. Even though he didn't get anything there, you're going to finally break one. And he did. It'll be 2nd and long, though, after Quarterman made the tackle. At the 31-yard line, Jimbo Fisher has never lost back-to-back home games since taking over. They played NC State on September 23rd, lost that game. Their lone win came on the road last week at Wake Forest. Fisher, you see the demonstrative conversation with his quarterback, James Blackman, who made incredible strides since training camp. Going into the year thinking he was going to be the backup until Francois' injury. Blackman throws here, and it's caught for a first down inside the 20 by George Campbell, all the way to the 15.
You know what? We're watching James Blackman there still doing everything at the line of scrimmage. And as you just referenced, when head coach Jimbo Fisher coaches him, he coaches him hard. He doesn't coach him like he's a freshman. He doesn't coddle him. And this young man maintains the same level of composure, the same body language, and the same facial expression, whether he's getting complimented or whether he's getting ripped.
Blackman has him at the 15-yard line. Back to Akers. Hit in the backfield. Down he goes. A loss at 1 on the play. Quarterman drills him first, and then.
But in their last 13 red zone penetrations, only 3 touchdowns. They got to get 7 here, obviously, against a great defense.
Blackman hit as he throws, nearly intercepted as Jaquan Johnson stepped in.
Continue if you look at 1st and 2nd down.
And he predetermined that throw, Greg.
Yeah, he did.
Chad Thomas did have some pressure in the face of the quarterback. Play clock winding down. It's at 2. And Blackman, I don't think, saw it, so Jimbo Fisher calls a timeout.
Let's watch Jimbo here. With his
from the 15 of Miami. 4-man rush for the Hurricanes. Blackman wide open, touchdown Izzo. First touchdown of the season for Izzo. Ricky Aguayo on to tie it at 10. New game with 12-17. After Jimbo Fisher has a lengthy conversation with him, trying to encourage him while also pointing out flaws from the previous couple plays. Throws a dart, and we have a tie game with 12-17 to go. Here's DJ Dallas for the Canes, and he's up to the 20, and a penalty marker comes flying in. 14 in a row. That came to an end today with the Sooners losing at home to Iowa State and a backup quarterback. Right now, the backup quarterback for Florida State just tied the game. And now Malik Rozier. It's his turn as the Canes are backed up at their 9. They're just going to hand it off here to Travis Homer. Runs out of real estate near the 15 as we check in with Adnan. It's interesting you mentioned that because, a couple days ago we're flying in here to Tallahassee and there was talk they might move this game again. Maybe move the start time up or move it a day earlier. They stuck with the 3:30 kick. And blue skies.
Knock on wood.
Still got a ways to go. It is supposed to rain later tonight with Hurricane Nate expected to make landfall along the Gulf Coast. Rozier and Amon Richards headed upfield. That pass was toward the sideline.
That's algebra. That's advanced algebra right there. Being able to check and adjust defensively when chaos is going on.
Rozier to throw on third down. Richards. Oh, he almost caught it. McFadden in coverage.
Just great coverage by the All-American defender.
Figo's last kick was not good. This one is much better. McFadden has to back up. Fields it at his 38. Gets out of a tackle. McFadden breaks another one. And he won't get away, though, on this time. Tackled at the 35. It's Mark Walton on special teams making a great for the studio and Adnan. And a tie game here at 10 apiece. Under 11 minutes to go. Florida State in Miami territory. As you see the confidence of James Blackman growing every snap. They run it here. Cam Akers to the 43 for 4 yards.
Greg, on that last play, Nyquan Murray actually fell.
With a little bit more one-on-one, and he's able to hit a nice throw. That took a lot of velocity, and he got it there on time.
They run it again on 2nd and 6. Trying to cut back is Akers, but it's not there. Instead, Jaquan Johnson is of Miami along with Shaq Quarterman. So third down here for James Blackman. Making his 3rd career start, replacing DeAndre Francois, who was injured in the opener against Alabama.
This is a big 3rd down. And in a normal game, it might be 4th down territory, but not in this game. It's been all about field position, and Florida State, for the most part, outside of one drive, Miami's been backed up. Try to throw it here.
Oh, the left side of the line move. I was just about to ask you, so if you don't get this, are you punting for sure? Well, now certainly you are if you don't pick it up because you're in 3rd and 11, 3rd and 10.
Offense, number 70, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Absolutely. It's a tug of war defensively right now, and there have not been many plays made by either offense. So I'm definitely thinking field position is as important as anything else. Now that they're at 3rd and 10, I wouldn't be shocked to see them actually run the football with Patrick, who's had a nice game today.
Depends as Jimbo Fisher's confidence in his quarterback growing. They did that a lot in the first half. They let him throw it, though, on the last 3rd down, and he threw a touchdown pass. He'll throw it here, and he's got Tate for another 1st down. Tate inside the 30, down to near the 25. How about that laser?
Wow. What a great throw and a
drop. Was that behind the line? They haven't signaled yet whether it was a forward pass. Murray with a smart play to jump on the ball, and it looks like they're going to say it was a backwards pass, so it's a loss of 4 on the play.
No, Greg and Dave, go back to our discussion with Jimbo this week, and he talked to us about how he thinks completion percentage is overrated. He puts more stock in whether or not you make the key play at the key moment when it matters most. And that last 3rd down throw right there to Auden Tate was a prime example of what he was describing to us when describing James Blackman.
And let's keep in perspective the defense he's going against. These Miami defenders are absolutely outstanding. He's been up to the task so far.
On 2nd and 14, Akers. Beautiful move by Akers. A helmet goes flying off at the 25-yard line. And it's Akers who lost his lid. He's going to have to come out for a play.
That's the 2nd time that Akers' helmet has come off. But goodness, look at that little stutter. And to get vertical, that is a big-time move there at the line of scrimmage. It was well defended. Just a missed tackle by the Kane defense.
Yeah, he shook Pinckney, and then it was Horderman that hit him up high and knocked the helmet off. 3rd and 8 from the 25-yard line. It would be about a 42-yard field goal try from here for FSU. And they're going to just run Patrick, and he'll get tackled at the 21. So it's a gain of 4. And so Ricky Aguayo, his brother obviously played here, had some trouble in the NFL, was cut by the Bucs, picked up by the Bears, and then was released again. Ricky's been solid this year, making 8 straight coming into the game, and then made one earlier in this one. So it'll be a 38-yard attempt to give Florida State the lead. No problem for Aguayo. Pressure didn't get. Tyler's kick sails out of bounds. It's a touchback. Let's go to Adnan. Now TCU carrying the torch right now for the Big 12 with Oklahoma losing. Miami has led in each now of the last 4 meetings, losing the previous 3. In fact, the Canes have not beaten Florida State since 2009. So a lot on the shoulders of quarterback Malik Rozier of the Hurricanes, who's played better in the second half after just 4 of 16 showing in the first half. From the Cane 25. Rozier pulls it down, gets leveled as he throws, and he completes it to Berrios, who's made every play for Miami today. A 15-yard pickup.
What a great throw by Malik Rozier. Getting him outside the pocket. He has a defender barreling down. He knows he's going to get hit. He delivers a strike to his security blanket, Berrios, on the over route. Well executed. Great drive start for this Hurricane offense.
See, 5 catches today for Berrios. He had 12 all of last year. McFadden looks like he might be coming on a blitz. There he is, number 4 for Florida State. Rozier recognizes it, and wide open is Herndon, the tight end, into Florida State territory. Stiff arms the defender all the way down to the 22.
It's a great job by Malik Rozier again, recognizing the vacated space on the left-hand side as a result of the corner cat and finding big completion.
37 yards. Here's Herndon again, knocked down inside the 15-yard line. Remember last year, David Njoku.
This has been an incredible answer to this point by this Miami offense.
61 quick yards for Rozier through the air, 2nd and 1. Walton finds running room inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal.
We all remember Johnny Manziel's performance as a freshman in 2012. Nothing to this point of the season has made me think Kellen Mond resembles Johnny Manziel, so it's going to take a superhuman effort from the true freshman.
So you got Homer in for the injured Walton. You got Corey Gaynor, a true freshman, in for Donaldson, who just left with an injury. 1st and goal for Miami at the Florida State 7. Canes looking to take the lead on this drive. Rozier going to take off. And he gets to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard. He lost his helmet. How about this? He's going to have to come out for a play. You lose your quarterback unless you burn a timeout here. How is Mark Richt going to handle this? Does he call a timeout?
And it's a critical down. And Mark Richt is.
He is. He's going to call timeout.
He's going to. He had.
Yep.
But how about the hit by Matthew Thomas? Was that targeting on Thomas? I mean, the helmet came off, but Do you call a penalty on Florida State there? Watch the hit by Matthew Tier.
But not a lot of starts under his belt. His career can be defined by the next 5 minutes.
Rozier to the air, lobs it, end zone. Berrios! He got it! Touchdown! Miami back in front. He scored 5 touchdowns in 4 games. He had 2 touchdowns all of last year. The point after makes it a 4-point Miami game.
Miami's best playmaker, and certainly today their most reliable target.
Still a lot of time though for Florida State, and they will start on their 25.
Right in the back of the end zone to give the Canes the lead. Incredible stuff from the senior.
We talked about his academic outstanding accomplishments, but enough time here for Florida State to march down. Miami bringing pressure, and that pass is caught. Izzo, who had the touchdown earlier, out near the 40-yard line as we check in with Adnan. Will Miami hold on, Adnan? Florida State with a good play to start this drive out to its 39-yard line. Blackman to throw again. Here's Patrick. Patrick able to break a couple tackles and just power his way near the line to gain. He's playing hurt as well, shaken up in the first half, trying to fight through the pain here in this rivalry game.
Tell you what, it's been physical today, and man, it's been fun to watch. James Blackman, the freshman, just watch Malik Rozier go right down the field for the go-ahead score. He says, now I get my chance. Off to a good start with 2 quick completions.
Both guys making their first starts in this rivalry game have really settled down since halftime. Akers gets the call and picks up the first down. It's almost like they're feeding off each other. Both guys settling down when in the first half they really struggled to throw the football and just complete passes.
Yeah, if you combine the two on the last couple drives, they're 11 of 12 between the two of them. I mean, they are really on fire, these two quarterbacks, trying to lead their team to victory.
They're stretching up that neck of Rozier after he took that shot near the goal line. Blackman pumps, runs, and gets positive yardage. Smart decision. That's what Jimbo Fisher talking about.
Staying consistent is the most important thing for this young kid moving forward.
Only 1 incompletion in his last 3 possessions. Over the middle, it's pulled in by Auden Tate, making an appearance here in the 4th quarter. Tate battling a shoulder injury, made a couple of State on the move. Inside 3 to play on the Miami 31-yard line. Blackman has to step up, wrapped up and sacked at the 37. Trent Harris takes him down. Pinkney had pressure initially for Miami.
That is a big-time play by this Miami defense. This offense for Florida State was getting into a bit of a rhythm. And they pin their ears back and they get after the quarterback to set Florida State behind the sticks. It's a great job by this pass rush from Miami, but none of us should be surprised. They're one of the best in the business at affecting the quarterback.
Official timeout. They're making Auden Tate leave the field. So that will not be charged to Florida. So after the 7-yard loss, they're backed up at the 37-yard line of Miami. Blackman hangs in the pocket, and it's pulled in by Murray, and Nooney is near the 20-yard line. Johnson with the hit, gain of 15. So it's 3rd and short. How do you handle this if you're Jimbo Fisher?
Well, it's obviously 4-down territory. Knowing that it's a 4-point game, a field goal does nothing for you. So I'm running the football with number 3, Cam Akers.
And Akers gets the call and able to muscle his way past the line to gain. The ball comes out. It's in the arms of McIntosh, but they ruled it forward. Progress was stopped at the 20-yard line. First down, Florida State. Minute 45 to go and 2 timeouts. We'll stop the clock to reset the chains.
Calling on your offensive line to make a big play right there. No indecision by Jimbo Fisher. You nailed it, Greg. Give it to the young freshman. You've got a true freshman at tailback, a true freshman at quarterback, and a much maligned offensive front that right now is playing their hearts out in the most important portion of the game.
See if they give it to him again. Play action. There's a receiver wide open. It's Tate. Touchdown FSU. Potentially back-to-back game-winning touchdowns. The point after makes it a 3-point game. Is a field goal to tie. The juice is flowing on the kickoff. That hit the crossbar. Let's go to the studio and add name. Rozier to throw on first down. His pass tipped by Sweat. Incomplete. Another pass coming by Rozier. Going to the sideline to Berrios. He was
by Florida State. These last couple snaps, they are dialed into this 2-minute offense for Miami.
And the Canes just 5 of 15 on third down. They have to get to the 35-yard line. Rozier steps up, and the receiver Berrios comes free for the first down.
The sideline yet.
Inside a minute to go. Homer running, and he's into Florida State territory. Got the first down. They're going to run it again. Homer breaks a tackle, and he is in Badgley's between 40 and 49 yards. Rozier going to take a shot. The receiver falls down. They roll incidental.
Potentially run it on third down and try to make the field goal a little bit more manageable and center it.
Be a 53-yarder from here. Rozier airing it out. Cager can't get free from McFadden. Again, because of that ankle. Travis Homer, though, has had some big runs on this drive. Will they give it to him here on third down and 10? Look at Rozier on the road telling the Hurricane fans to get into it. He's going to throw it on third and long. Berrios on the catch, breaks the tackle, picks up the first down, and out of bounds. Shot, right?
Might as well take one.
At this point?
Absolutely.
You're in field goal range.
Absolutely can't get sacked, though. Ball's got to come out of your hands immediately.
Although they do have that one timeout left. Rozier going to take a shot, and it is caught into the end zone. Touchdown, Mike! And there it is. Darrell Langham, 3 catches all season. First time we called his number today is the biggest play of the day. Miami 6 seconds away from ending the 7-game losing streak to Florida State. Badgley to make it a 4-point lead. He was thinking he was going to have to come out and try a long field goal. Instead, he's just out there for the extra point to make it a 4-point game.
Just one-on-one coverage. 11 seconds left. Rozier knows he still has a touchdown in his hip pocket. But you got to think to yourself, as a quarterback, let's try to win this thing in regulation and not leave it to chance. Let me find my big 6'4", 220-pound wide receiver in a one-on-one situation and throw a perfect back shoulder and allow that forward momentum to drag the defender into the end zone. Just a motion all around on both sidelines.
Remember, too, Greg and Tom, Mark Richt, he's the play caller, so he's managing the clock down the stretch, and he's calling the plays, dialing up to take the shot, knowing he probably has the field goal. Badgley is very good. He's never missed in his career between 40 and 49. He takes the shot, and they get the touchdown.
And who does he go to on third down to extend the drive? Braxton Berrios. Makes the play, gets down the sideline, sets him up for another set of downs. That guy has been exceptional all game long.
Guys, get ready for laterals. It was 2 years ago in Mark Rozier's first start. Miami, with a bunch of laterals, ended up beating Duke. They kick it deep. We're 2 seconds left. Here's DJ Matthews, and he's still going. And oh, he could have lateraled it. He kept hold of the ball. He goes down, and the game is over. Miami ends the streak. Florida State's 7-game win streak over the Hurricanes is over.